Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. My name is Dr. Leslie Phillips and I will be your host for the next hour. So we'll get straight into the topic of the day, which is body versus spirit and body-spirit communication. So the question of the day is, what is the difference between body and spirit? So I'm going to read out my top 10 differences in a minute. But here's the thing. You've probably heard me lots of times on the show say you are spirit. You're not your body. Your body is a biological organism created by you to sustain your life force energy, created by you so that you can have some very focused experiences here in physical reality. But many people go through their lives ignoring their body, either pushing it too much, stressing it too much, or ignoring it and not being in their body at all. And so I thought it would be a really great subject for this evening. I find a lot of people have that body-spirit thing out of balance. And it's a good moment to introduce the show producer, Corey. Hi, Corey.
Hello.
Hello. So what would you say? Let's see what you think are the differences between body and spirit.
One is corporal and the other one isn't.
Yeah, one is made of dense physical matter and the other isn't made of matter at all. Not at all. Another difference is that the body exists within the concept of time. In a spiritual reality, there is no time. In fact, in physical reality, there is time and there is space. In spiritual reality, there is no time and there is no space. So your physical body can only be in present time. But you, the spiritual entity, you can be anytime, any place, anywhere. Can you think of any other differences, Corey?
Well, I guess one is open to disease and one isn't, but that's the corporal side of it as well. I had the two first ones.
Yeah, very good. Well, here's a related one to the fact that the physical versus the non-physical form, that the body uses effort. Everything that the body does requires effort, requires energy.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Whereas for spirit, there is no effort whatsoever. And that's one of the ways you can tell if you're creating a spirit versus body. Because so many people these days, they're into the manifestation thing, aren't they? And it's like, well, how do I know that I'm, doing it right? How do I know that I'm working as spirit? If you're using effort, you're not working as spirit. If you're using effort, that's your body.
One's eternal and the other isn't.
Yeah, one's mortal, the physical body, and you, the spiritual entity, you are eternal. One is finite, the physical body. There's a beginning and an end to the physical body, and the other is infinite. There is no end to who you are.
I got a good one.
Oh, what is it?
Well, one can be male or female, and the other one is strictly only one sex.
Very good, yes. One can be male or female, and the other one is neither.
In base nature.
Yeah, and in fact, just to broaden that concept a little bit, everything that the physical body experiences is in polar opposites, male, female, light, dark, because it's in a planet of polarity and a planet of duality, whereas spirit is part of the oneness. There's no separation, there's no opposites, there just is the isness of being. And Another one we could say is, of course, and it relates to the one about being dense physical matter, is that dense physical matter is a very low, slow vibration, whereas you, the spiritual entity, have a very high frequency. So there's a big difference in frequency between the body and spirit. And we sometimes talk about that on the show.
One has emotion, one doesn't?
Yes! One has emotion and the other one doesn't. Emotion belongs to the physical body. Emotion is how your physical body communicates. So, I was going to go on to talk about, well, okay, you've got these two things, the physical body that you've created and you, the spiritual, high vibration spiritual being. How do you get the two into communication? How do you listen to your body? And number one, to listen to your body is listen to its emotional signals. That's how it communicates to you. That's how it communicates with you. And it has other ways of communicating with you. So if you ignore the emotional signals, it might start sending you some physical signals, like developing a disease or something, so that it becomes harder to ignore it. So listen to your body through its emotions.
And I would think another one would be that spirit is connected to all other beings, yet the body isn't.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Sometimes they can be created to other beings. Another one is, in spiritual reality, you might notice in your dreams, you can move through walls, you can move through solid matter, whereas obviously in your physical body and physical reality, you can't do that. Another difference is the body's highest vibration and the body's way of figuring things out is through its intellect, whereas spirit, there's another mode of attuning to information, which is intuition. So I'll just going to talk a little bit more about body-spirit communication and how we bring these two very different aspects together. So remember we said listen to your body's emotions or its physical signals and take them into consideration, because your body is going to be a much better partner for you, and your life will therefore be easier if you can understand your body and if you listen to it and if you take care of its needs. The other thing is take charge of the mind, the computer, the body's computer, so that you can be in charge of what thoughts you are thinking and what beliefs you are having. And then finally, on this idea of, well, how do you, the spiritual being, communicate with your body? Well, yes, you listen to the body through its emotions, but you talk to the body through your inner voice. So that voice inside of you, it's not your thoughts, it's not your monkey mind, it's not that mind chatter, but there's a voice inside of you that sounds just like you, that you can trust, that gives you guidance, that always gives you really good information. That's your inner voice. So you can communicate to your body through your inner voice, and you, the temporal personality in the physical body, and you can listen to the body's emotions. And then one final tip before we go to break, and then I know we have a number of people lined up. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about grounding, because grounding is the best way to help connect you, the high vibration spiritual being, with your physical body. And why is that? This is a technique that's a bit like electrical grounding. Okay, so what you do is you create a flow of energy from near the base of your spine that goes all the way to the center of the earth, and that helps anchor your energy in your body so that you can flow through your body. It helps you release denser energies from your body so that you increase the vibration that you're holding in your body, so that you can make that connection between body and spirit much more easily. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. Now we do have a caller on the line. Hello caller. Hello Susan.
Hello Leslie.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm okay, pretty good.
Good.
Yes. Okay, so I guess I'm to ask you a question.
Sure.
And okay, so my question is, I have a strange thing that's been going on, and that's that I'm a very healthy lifestyle person, so I don't do anything that would be considered unhealthy, which is kind of extreme, but I don't smoke, I don't drink, I exercise, I eat lots of healthy food, that kind of thing. And the weirdest, strangest thing is I'm forever, ironically, very rarely does a day go by that I don't have some kind of a health problem, and it's constant. And and quite often the issues are so, like they're all different too, which is really weird. Like one day it might be like I used to get asthma a lot, for example. And what's happened is a lot of these things have resolved over the years, so it's not like they're the same issues for the rest of my life. Like they come, they last for a few years, and then they're gone, which I often work my way through. So anyway, and I have the same right now. It's like every day there's something, and I'm just kind of wondering why such a healthy living person who strives so strongly to be so has this problem.
Great question, and I don't know that you were able to listen to the earlier part of the show, but we were talking about body-spirit communication. So it's a perfect show to phone up with this question, actually.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I'll go into trance in a moment and look at you specifically, but one of the first things that struck me about this is, so sometimes there's all of these ideas out there, these rules about, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, then this is what's going to make you have a healthy body, right? And those might be external beliefs coming from doctors and lifestyle advocates and so on. And then we've got our body, your unique body that belongs to you, that has its own unique needs. And so there's a difference between listening to those external ideas of what you should be doing and listening to your own body. So that was the first thing that struck me.
Okay.
And I'll just ask you, and then I'll go into trance and give you some more information. Do you listen to your own body?
I try to. People often say to me, "Oh, you're so tuned into your body." Like I really do try to hear what my body wants. For example, lately, all of a sudden I felt like I needed to have some lamb souvlaki. So even though I usually eat mostly vegetarian diet, I went and bought myself some lamb souvlaki. So I will step out of my box and go, for example, and then I also had, sorry to jump around, but I also had dairy. I all of a sudden I felt like I needed to eat dairy, which I normally avoid. So I try to listen. It could be that my mind isn't always listening, but I try.
Okay. All right. Well, give me a moment. Keep your eyes open. I'm just going to go into a trance so I can see more deeply into your question.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm taking a look, taking a look at you and what's going on. And so it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to ask you another question by way of giving you the information, and that is, what we were saying earlier in the show. The body's main way of, food craving is one thing, but the body's main way to communicate with you is actually through its emotions. Its emotions will tell you how it's doing, how it's experiencing the life circumstances that you're putting it in. And to me it looks like you're actually not listening to your emotions.
You're right. As a matter of fact, before I called in, I turned on some music, which I never do, and as soon as I turned it on, I started to cry, which I only do that if I listen to music. My emotions aren't easily accessible unless there's something in the arts that will trigger it.
Right. And so therein lies your issue, because what happens is the body will communicate with you first through its emotions, and if you don't listen, it will shout louder by developing asthma or an allergy or some other physical condition, so that you can't ignore it. And so you're catching it at the point that it moves into a physical manifestation, but you could catch this earlier if you taught yourself how to listen to your body on a regular basis by listening to its emotions.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because I have I don't know what it is, but I seem to have a very strong ability to not experience emotions unless I am in an environment where emotions are typical. So if I'm watching a movie or listening to music, I will then be able to access my emotions.
Yeah. No, it looks like you've kind of shut yourself off from them. I'm seeing it sort of like you. To me, you look like you operate. Do you know about the chakras and? So to me, it looks like you operate primarily from your crown chakra, which is great. It's that gateway between body and spirit, and it's a way of accessing your knowingness, and it's a way of connecting with, your higher reality, and it's a way of connecting with your body as well. But I'm just seeing that from there, then down from there, that there's less activation, and so for you, getting more into your body, and of course exercise, being really present can help you be in your body. But grounding, which we were talking about earlier in the show, and it will help you get into your body. So just being more in your body, having and then paying more conscious attention to it at the level of its emotions, and then responding to the emotions in real time as they are happening, so that you're not shutting them down and ignoring them, and then the body then has to turn what it wants to say to you into a physical symptom.
Right. This is making beautiful sense. I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to try that.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like Corey, our show producer, has something he wants to add to that.
Show producer, co-host, also healer.
Yes.
Just at a point-blank range.
I can't hear him.
She can't
Hello,
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. At a point-blank, to be point-blank, in psychology, there's a term used. It's called secondary gain.
Could you come a little closer?
I'm right on the mic. If Leslie would turn me up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll turn him up, but he's
okay.
Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Oh yeah, now I can hear myself as well. Okay, so the point that you made about not being in connection with your emotions is very important, because if you can't connect with your own emotions, then it's difficult to connect with other people as well with their emotions. However, we all need exterior emotions. We need people to like us, to love us, to care about us. And sometimes what happens is, even though we're healthy, the only way, because we're not emotional, the only way we can get people to show that emotion towards us is by expressing something negative, right? And so what happens is, it happens a lot with people with depression. They stay in a depressed state because people care about them and dote on them when they're like that. So if you're having that issue with emotion, sometimes what happens is your body works with your emotional mind or your spirit to have people care about you. So it produces negative feelings, negative illnesses, just so that other people will tend to lean towards you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, though I'm a little bit worse than that. I don't even accept the support. So I'm a very independent person. But I know what you're saying because I've seen that, and
the more
there's definitely a chance that in some way I'm doing that as well.
But the more you don't accept the support, the more that your subconscious or your spirit will want you to do it. Will try to get that support.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. So why don't you try acceptance? Acceptance is a very big thing.
Acceptance?
Yeah, acceptance. Accepting some of that support, accepting some of that caring. And Dr. Dwyer, who's passed on us now, would always say that, Wayne Dwyer, he would always say that when you do manifestations or intentions, which I'm sure you do if you're because you sound like you do, if you're setting intentions, don't set the intention to have an illness leave you. Set an intention to come to your perfect state, which is health, and wellness, and that also helps. Just look for that health. Go to that health and wellness point in your life. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit here.
Okay, I can barely hear you, but I'm following you.
Okay, I'll talk a little. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I don't know. All of a sudden, I went hoarse.
Okay. Thank you. That was really. I hear what you're saying.
Okay, great. I'll pass you back to Dr. Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I gave you my information, Susan. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right then. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I believe we have another caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, Leslie. This is Alana.
Oh, hello, Alana. How are you?
Pretty good.
All right. What's your question today?
It's interesting what you're talking about tonight because it really pertains to what's going on with me. For several months now, I've been just kind of sick with one thing after another, and the latest for the last week or so has been, and I've gone to the doctors already in the hospital, and this has been like a floaty feeling I'm getting, light sensitivity, brain saps, and vertigo with like the room spinning. And I just have so much anxiety around this issue that I thought I'd get another opinion in terms of from a spiritual perspective.
Sure. And you said, what did you say? Brain
zaps. It's like it feels like this electric current.
Brain zaps.
Yeah, I've had that a few times in the last week.
And what did they say at the hospital?
Well, when I first went for the vertigo, they thought it was low blood sugar, but then I've since had a blood test, and that's fine. And I have previously been diagnosed with benign vertigo, positional vertigo, and it could be a little bit of that, but it just seems different now.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if there's anything spiritually going on with me that I'm manifesting through my body.
Absolutely. I'll take a look for you now.
Sure.
So keep your eyes open and I'll go into trance and take a look.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's see what's going on. Well, the first thing I'm seeing, and I'll just say what I see as I'm seeing it, is it looks like you're carrying around a lot of stuff in your aura. So when I first thing that sort of jumped out at me when I looked at you is this, we just for listeners, because I know you know what an aura is, but just for the listeners, there's an energy field around you called your auric field. It's electromagnetic energy, and it contains all sorts of things. And it contains your beliefs, your memories, and all of that, your emotions. And what I'm seeing has happened with you, Alana, is somehow you've got a backlog of things. So it's like you lit up some stuff to clear from your space, and then you left it there, and you didn't clear it from your space. And so first thing is, it just looks like you're looking out at the world through this dense, energetic fog. So that's the first thing. And so what I would recommend right now is just, now you have that concept, is just ground and start. I'm going to give you a hand doing this.
Sure.
Just clearing that backlog. It's kind of interesting because it looks like a big sort of string of related things somehow. And so it's like there's something that you said, I'm going to change this. And then you went, oh no, I'm a bit afraid to change it now because I don't know what it'll be like if I don't have this. And then it sort of looks like it got stuck. So there's going to be some more stuff that we're going to talk about in a minute. But let's just give you a hand. Let's just give you a hand moving through this.
Is it like paint pictures kind of thing?
It looks like it looks more like stuff from the past to me, and it actually looks like some of it's not even yours. It looks like some foreign energy as well. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing. And then I'm also, interestingly enough, because the last caller we were talking about her crown chakra, I'm also seeing that we want to look at your crown chakra. So, and before, it looks like some of this stuff that you lit up to let go of actually had to do with self-judgment and invalidation. And also all of the times in your life when you felt invalidated and judged by others, and it's stuck to you because you've got some invalidation in there. It looks like you sort of went, I think I'm done with this. Once and for all, finally, I'm going to clear this out. And then you didn't. But you stirred it up. So
So that makes sense. Like, it just feels like I'm overwhelmed with. Yeah, that makes so sense. And then was there something going on with the crown chakra?
There is, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, sure. The reason it feels overwhelming is two reasons. One, because you lit it up and didn't move it, so there's a backlog. But number two, that there's a bunch of foreign energy there as well that isn't even yours, which feels really weird and strange.
Okay, that's perfect.
And then if I look at the crown chakra, there's something going on there, and it looks so. You've heard us talk about transmediumship, which is the ability to flow spirit through the physical body. And how what we want to do, we're all transmediums. We all are spiritual energy flowing through a physical body. And what we're really wanting to do is own our own bodies by having our energy flow through. And what I'm seeing you did on a few different levels was just want to clear out foreign energy. And at the level of the crown chakra, it just looks like it activated some transmedium energy, meaning where you've given your space away from others, where you haven't owned your space, and where other people have been able to hook into you. And I'm seeing it, so it lit all that up in the crown chakra as well. And that's one of the things that froze you, because you felt controlled or stuck to make the change. So that's what I'm seeing, and so I know that you know some techniques that you can use to help with this. Grounding and creating and exploding roses and being in the center of your head so that you've got some kind of perspective on it. But I'm seeing just sit and just clear it and clear it and clear it and focus on clearing it. And I've given you a hand, but it looks like it's just a lot. And so, but I'm seeing if you focus on that and you clear it, I think your symptoms should ease up.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Leslie.
You're really welcome. Thank you for calling.
All right, okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. We have been talking about body versus spirit and body-spirit communication this evening. And we've had people calling up asking questions that are totally related to that. Do we have a question, Corey?
Yeah, we have a couple of email questions. I have a question first.
Okay.
Okay, so, we often talk about, and being that this is about body versus spirit or body and spirit, the aura is spiritual, is it not, or is it physical?
Well, it's an electromagnetic energy field, and it actually emanates from your chakra system. So you have 7 main chakras, and each of those chakras is it's flowing from front to back through, the orientation of the chakras. For the listeners, these are energy vortices that flow from front to back. Most of them are horizontal to the floor, and each one relates to a different aspect of your life, and you are experiencing your life through them and processing your life experiences through them. Each one of those emanates an energy field, and the aura is all of those interpenetrating layers of energy from the chakras.
But would you consider that physical or spiritual in nature?
I would consider it energy. And it's part of your spiritual communication system. It's part of who you are as spirit.
See, to me, the chakra system is spiritual, and I'm not 100% sure if I know the correct answer to this, but your chakra system is specific to your spirit. So it basically travels with the spirit, does it not? And is interactive with your life.
It's interactive with your life.
But travels with your spirit.
Well, I would say as you form a body, you form an energy counterpart to the body that you communicate with it through. And your chakra system is part of that energetic counterpart.
Okay. Now, the point I'm trying to get to is to ask the question in a specific manner is that your auric field, which is full of all kinds of stuff, right? Does that travel through from life to life?
Okay, so the answer to that, a simple answer to that, I would say no.
No.
A more complicated answer to that is I would tell you that you actually have a past life aura, which is slightly different to the aura that's surrounding your physical body. So there is an aspect of your energy field that carries past life information. It's actually behind the back of your head, like the aura surrounds your entire body, like a kind of energetic egg, and it relates specifically to this lifetime. Okay, but that aura is not carrying all your past life information. That would be overwhelming and confusing.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But it does leak some occasionally.
Sometimes there's a kind of a crossover. Yeah, maybe we'll say it that way.
Yeah, crossover, leakage into this life. No, I was just that's more or less what my understanding was, because a lot of times when readers read and they're doing chakra readings, they confuse chakras with physical nature as opposed to spiritual nature. And I'm not saying they don't feel or sense or read the chakras, but I don't think they read it to the depth, and they misread. And especially if the past life auric field comes into consideration at all as well. And some people might see that as opposed to reading your aura in itself.
Yeah, well, if we want to get a little bit complicated about things, you know that there's a lot of people who are doing readings have kind of evolved it on their own, perhaps without any training or in-depth understanding of what they're doing. And there's a way that you as a reader can set your energy so that you're focused on that person right here, right now, as opposed to irrelevant aspects of that entity. Okay, so you always want to, in a reading, be orienting yourself to the aspect of the person that's sitting in front of you and what's going on in their life right now.
Well,
past life readings are great, but oftentimes people will go way too far into that, you know, because you can people can become obsessed with who they were in a past life, or they can have the excuse that something that's going on in their present life is blamed on a past life. But you know what? The most important thing is this life. You have this body right now. This is what's important. Past life information can be therapeutic and helpful when it relates to what you're going through now, and when it helps give you another perspective on what you're going through now.
I know I've actually run into a couple of readers in the past that I've been privy to their readings, and I'm watching these people, and they're not reading the person. They're reading themselves. It's incredible.
Yes, and that is another thing that really it does happen, and so that the sign of a good reader actually is knowing how to deal with that, because everyone you read is a mirror for you. Everyone you read is reflecting yourself back at you. So a good reader knows how to process that so that they're not reading themselves. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, we have our first question for you, other than mine. I thought our listeners might like to know that.
And you know, I think, listeners, there is a pastime show that we talked about chakras on. And I'll actually also let you know that the shows are now being turned into podcasts, and so they're available. All the podcasts are coming out on iTunes and Stitcher, and also some other vehicles that have podcasts. And you can also go to drlesliephillips.com, and there's now a podcast button on my website where you can listen to past shows categorized by the show subject matter. So you can listen to podcasts on CIVL, but they're just listed by date. So now we have it available on my website where you can see it categorized by subject matter. And I know that there's a show on chakras. I'm not sure if it's live on my website yet, but if you're interested in that, then you can go take a look on the podcast page on drlesliephillips.com. All right.
So I have a question from Mademoiselle Kelly, or Mrs. Kelly, whichever it is, Ms. Kelly, or anyway, Kelly. And Kelly would like to know, would relocation to another city be beneficial to me and my family?
And I'm just tuning into Kelly's energy using a technique that refers to what I was telling you about before, Corey, which is, number one, I go into an altered state of consciousness, so I tune out physical reality and tune into spiritual reality. But number two, I orient myself to this lady's energy in terms of where she's at. Why are you laughing?
Well, I'm sorry. This is a question that came in. And I was just looking at how it's put together. What you've printed for me, it actually gives the latitude and longitude of the person.
That's how they come in. Normally, I don't print that stuff out, but yeah, no, that's how they come in.
That's we know where you are.
If I needed that to locate this lady, it would be good, but I don't. So let's take a look. And she's asking, would it be beneficial for her to move to a different physical location? It actually looks to me like it might be, but there's there's two different levels to this answer. So I'm actually seeing that if I was to look at where you live now, which Corey knows because he's looked at those coordinates, but I don't, I would say that to the north of where you live now, or to the northeast of where you live now, looks like an interesting direction to consider for a move. So that's the first thing. And because it looks like there's something in that direction, maybe a city to the northwest of where you live, that looks quite bright. So it looks like there's opportunities there for you and your family that would make your situation better than it is where you live now. So I don't know any more information about you, but for example, if it was proving hard to find enough work where you live now, this other location looks better in terms of that. And it looks better for everybody. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I feel like there's a reason that you asked that question, which has to do with you and what's going on inside of you. So I'm also going to take a look at that. Because it looks like you're wanting to blame a set of perceived external circumstances for life not being exactly how you'd like it to be. And we want to help you not to just take yourself from one place to another and take the same problem with you, because you create your reality. We want to help you, see if we can help you with that as well. So give me a moment. Although, you know what? It's funny in this case. After saying that, in this case, I actually think that a physical move is a mechanism that you could employ to help you leave some stuff behind that is affecting you. And so it's funny. On the one hand, you create your own reality, but it looks to me like in creating a move, you create an easy way for you to let go of some stuff on a spiritual, energetic level, at the same time as moving to a place where there's some better opportunities for you and your family. So I hope that helps you, Kelly. And we've got time for one quick question.
A quick question. Why? No. This is from Lena. Lena says, I'm so tired and unhappy and consistently sick and achy. I want to stop working at what I do right now, but can't financially. What do I do? Thank you.
Okay, great. We'll take a look at that for you. So Lena is tired, unhappy, achy, wishes she could stop working, but there's a financial reason why she can't do that. So I'm going to tune into her energy. And it's another good question for a show on body versus spirit. And I'm going quiet just because I'm tuning into her energy frequency. And Lena, if you're listening to the show, it's really interesting, but I'm seeing a direct parallel between you and one of the ladies that called earlier, Ilana. Your energy field actually looks quite similar to what I was seeing when I looked at her, in that you're carrying a lot of past time energy. You're carrying a lot of past time energy in your energy field that you would like to let go of, but something's preventing you from. You're afraid of change, so you're afraid to let go of it, and it's taking a lot of energy to hold all that past time energy, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like the body is overburdened. The body is carrying a whole bunch of stuff around, and stuff that it doesn't need to be carrying around. And let me see if I can be any more specific in the 2 minutes I have left. Give me a second. It looks like you're afraid of doing things wrong. The achiness in the joints, I'm seeing that there's fear in the joints, and the fear in the joints it's like fear of moving forward. Fear of moving forward. Fear of what will happen if you move forward. And I would suggest look at your childhood for what happened to you when you wanted to move forward in your own way versus in accordance with someone else's expectations and judgments. So I'm seeing that really what's key for you is to relinquish this past time energy that you're carrying around, mostly from your childhood, and it's fear that's keeping you stuck and in this holding pattern. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, and what I would recommend for you is learning some meditation techniques such as grounding, so that you can start to take charge of letting go of some of this energy. So how to let go of it, learn how to ground, learn how to meditate, and that will help you. So we have reached the end of today's show. You are welcome to write to us in the meantime with your suggested topics for next week's show. Write to info@drlesliephillips.com. You can also send questions in advance to info@drlesliephillips.com.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesliephillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.